What is the worst pest in the garden? You've worked your garden, you've planted, it's growing. Let's talk about bugs first. Lots of bugs. Surprisingly, there are some really great bugs. Now, you may look at this and you go, oh, I'm squishing that. But don't do it, because it turns into a ladybug. And you don't want to get rid of those. What about this guy peering at you? A praying mantis. It's a good bug, so don't get rid of that. Now you go out in the garden, it's early morning, you see the spider webs. Now this garden spider will eat so many bad bugs. Be careful of it. Now there are some not so good bugs and things. Snails and slugs for one. I'm always trapping them. There, in certain areas, carrots can get carrot flies, and that can be bad. Up in Wyoming, my chokecherries get worms sometimes. What about your cabbages? They can get worms, and they can just really devastate a cabbage. So be particularly mindful of caterpillars, because some are really good and they turn into beautiful butterflies. One of the things that I have problems with are wasps, especially in my raspberries. So in early spring, I put up wasp nests to trap those queens, and that can really help. Some years I have potato bugs. Some years I don't have any potato bugs. Now, a real menace in many gardens are aphids. If you can just keep on top of them, because ladybugs do need something to eat. So there's always a balance. Now, some people hate ants. Some people don't mind ants, and some people love ants. You may have grasshoppers one year. There's different pests in your garden. Now, there are larger pests too. Now, it may start with the small, tiny mouse. Sometimes you don't see the pest. It's moles or it's voles, but you see the damage that they do. What about those squirrels that will come and take one bite out of your ripe tomato and leave the rest of them alone? How about rabbits? They're cute and they're cuddly, but not in the garden. Sometimes your chickens, ducks, can get into your gardens and really do some damage. Birds, a lot of different kinds of birds, will like to eat those seedlings when they just are coming out of the ground. Now, it's fun to have a dog and go on a walk with it. But if that dog or that cat can get into your garden, sometimes that's not a good thing. They can do some damage. Now, there are plants that are very poisonous to those dogs and cats, so be careful. Cats, dogs, they'll dig, they'll pull. So it can be just problematic in your garden. If you're on a farmstead, even the larger animals, there can be some causes and effects that actually become pests. Now, we love the warm sun at night in the summertime, but when that becomes a scorching sun, your garden becomes a smorgasbord of all the animals around, because they're thirsty, they're hungry, and they may jump your fence and get into your gardens. Now, there's things to protect. You can guard your trees. You can have good fences, and that can stop a lot of different pests. Now, water is important in your garden, but it can be a cause and effect when your plants get damaged by hail. They get damaged by flooding. And that can bring in different pests that you would not have had before. So it's a cause and effect. But then there's us. Now, it can be that people come to your garden. They want to see what you're doing. And they don't know. They're not careful. And they can step on all kinds of plants, not meaning to. Now, sometimes we are so bombarded by advertisements. We can fix this pest. We can solve your problem. Just spray this and all your worries will go away. Now, there are some organic alternatives that can help you. Just be careful. One of our greatest problems is time. A garden takes a lot of time. You've planted, you've watered, you've taken pests out. You've tended your garden. You've even got produce, and then you get busy. And you're not harvesting, and plants are rotting on the vine. You're not protecting your plants, and they're dying. You get busy with everything that's in life, and it becomes problematic, and those pests come in. Now, I wish I could tell you that get rid of one pest and 90% of your problems would go away. But that's not the way it works. Every year is a little bit different. Your weather is different. Your time is different. The plants you planted were different. Your soil changes. And some years there's going to be pests that are very small. Some years those pests are going to be bigger. Some years those pests are going to be human. But don't get discouraged. Don't give up on gardening. Because with a little time, a little effort, keeping on top of everything, you can have a successful garden, no matter what kind of pests you have. Now, may you lose a crop or two sometimes. It happens. But don't worry about it. Gardening is supposed to be fun. Gardening is supposed to enrich your life. So take care of those pests one day at a time, and you'll be successful. Sometimes the tomatoes don't look this good. They're huge. Sometimes the weather affects that. Sometimes it's a pest. And sometimes you have success. Everyone, this is Sandy at Suburban Homesteader, Wyoming, Arizona. And what's the worst pest in your garden this year? I'll see you next time.